Yeah, viewers, welcome to the part 2 of To Jakpa or Not to Jakpa with Mr. Charles Kwenin. So can we come straight to that point? Because you have established something which is legit, which provides a proper pathway for people to Jakpa. Can you tell us more about it? The company and what you have been doing?
Yes, well, since I retired and came home, given my extensive experience that has taken me around sitting with government, sitting with migrants, meeting migrants at the shores of Tripoli, at shores of Obok, in Djibouti, in Agadez, everywhere, I decided to give back to society and especially to my own country, Ghana. So we set up IMPRAC, that is International Migration Policy, Recruitment and Advisory Center. And what we do is to provide information, that is reliable information, timely information to migrants. If you have to travel, what do you require to travel? Do you need a visa? What type of visa do you need? How do you go there? And we give you all this. We also provide advice. For people who travel without much advice, you see people who are traveling, they don't even have a passport. And yet they tell you, I'm traveling, I'm going to Sweden. Do you know where Sweden is? They don't know, yet they are going.
The trafficker will promise you a passport, a visa, and everything. So it's a complete package.
That is part of the problem. They'll give you a complete package. Insofar as people do not have opportunities or work, they will fall for it. And that is why we have an office at the North Kanishie opposite the CMB flat, where people come there all the time. You know, but you need to register so that you are in the database, so that at least when you call. So the registration is to match you to a job. What we do is matching people to jobs. We get jobs, we go out scouting for jobs.
So IMPRAC gets the jobs, and then do you advertise these jobs? How do you get people to match up to those jobs?
Yes. Well, IMPRAC is a licensed private recruitment agency, licensed by the Ministry of Employment, that is the Labor Department of the Ministry. So what we do, when you register, you go to our website, www.imprac.org. There is a registration. When you register, you're in the database. We go out to look for jobs, and then we do matching. So once you are in the database, at least it gives you hope. It doesn't mean you will get job immediately, but if your profession is such that we have jobs for you, you can immediately get a job. If not, you are in the system. Once you get a job, we call you, Mr. Wayo, we have this job for you. You say you are a nurse, or you are a physics teacher, or you are an engineer. We have this job for you. These are the terms and conditions. If you like it, then that is when we take you through. We get you the occupational permit or work permit. Work permit is for the skilled, the unskilled. Occupational permit is for the highly qualified or skilled. We get you your resident permit. We give you a copy of your contract.
You do all that for the...
We do all that, yes. That is fair recruitment, which is part of the UN standard. That is when we talk of fair and ethical recruitment, being transparent with the potential employee, letting the person know what are the terms and conditions of the work. You get the person the work permit, occupational permit, the resident permit, before they leave the shores of Ghana. And all this we do in coordination with the Department of Labor and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So you go legally, so you are there and you are able to live normal life, open a bank account, you can send money back home. So that is what IMPRAC does. So you can go to our website and you can have more information about IMPRAC.
Isn't this, someone will look at this and feel like, hey, how much do I need to
have?
Want
to Jakpa will harass me after this.
But someone will look at me like, how much money do I need to have to pay for all these services you are providing?
Yes, it depends. The registration fee is just 300 cedis.
It's what?
Just 300 cedis.
300 cedis?
Yes.
Not $300?
No. 300 cedis.
It's
just for the registration.
Yes.
The database.
Yes.
But that does not mean you get a job.
No, we understand,
So you have to maintain the database. You have to pay for the domain, service and everything. But at least it's like throwing application into the system.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
If you don't throw any seed, if you don't sow any seed, you don't
You
expect
know,
anything.
if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Exactly, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Yeah.
So IMPRAC essentially gives you hope,
Yeah,
because at least even when you don't expect, you will call you and tell you, we have this job for you.
yeah.
And we've been giving people that opportunity. And again, besides the job side, you also have the opportunity to find out more about migration, to find out more about
The
we
risks.
advise people
Yeah,
the risk of migration.
Yeah.
Migration, by and large, it's not a bad thing.
yeah.
It's just how we manage it. So we give a lot of advice, which I think is key
Yeah.
to enable people make an informed decision.
Okay.
Because you cannot stop people from migrating, but they need to have the information. They need to have know the requirements to enable them make an informed decision before they go. But when you travel without all that information, it makes you vulnerable. You are at risk, and you can easily be exploited. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, on behalf of people that have decided to go to school, they have finished a 4-year university program, and now they are done. They can't find a job, and they are interested. What would be the usual steps you would take them through? They have registered on your website, like you have said,
Yes.
and they are still sitting at home. They are waiting for magic to happen.
They have to go to our website. We have another site, Impact Jobs, where we advertise the jobs that we get.
Okay.
So when you go there, you see what jobs we have.
Okay.
We also advertise on various, platforms on Facebook that people get to know. They call in when they have questions. We respond to them, and they can, be advised on anything that they want. We don't promise you that as soon as you register, you get a job. No,
Okay.
that is not how Impact works.
I think
But at least
the
we
question
give
is
you-
asking here is
Yes.
about furthering their education. I mean, somebody who is not necessarily going for a job, but like you finish your first degree, but it's becoming difficult. You want to do a second degree outside. You did your second degree outside, but you
Yes.
went on government scholarship.
Yes.
Okay, but there are cases where you don't have any scholarship. You want to school outside. Do you also facilitate such?
No, we don't.
Okay.
As I said earlier, we are a private recruitment agency.
Okay.
For educational advice, there are other institutions
Okay.
that are more capable, that specialize
Okay.
in advising people who want to further
Their education.
their education.
Okay.
For instance, we have memorandum of understanding with Askia.
Okay.
It's a consulting firm for Canada.
Okay.
They do that. So when you come to Impact,
Okay.
part of our advice is a referral
Friends.
service.
Good.
Okay.
Where we refer you to the appropriate institution where you can get that kind of advice. So that is part of what we do as an advisory
Okay.
center.
That's-
We also give referral advice.
Okay.
We don't have the capacity to give you advice on educational further studies, or we can refer you to institutions that can provide you with that kind of support.
I think people, especially in a part of the world, use education as a way to get in because that's one of the easiest ways.
Yes.
But the whole idea is I'll finish the master's or whatever, and then hopefully get a job.
Yeah.
In that situation where you know that that's their final destination, which is to get a job, isn't there still a way you can play, even though they are using the education route?
Well,
I think that's why he talked about
Yes.
Askia.
yes, you see, well, instead of maybe using education to go abroad, what most people actually use is tourist visa.
Okay.
They use tourism,
Okay.
that they are going on a visit to an uncle or just a friend or something.
Yeah.
And then when they get there, they overstay. So by and large, we talk of many Africans living abroad or Europe illegally. No. Most Africans who go to Europe go there legally. About 80% of or more of Africans who go to Europe enter legally.
Because they pass through the airport.
They pass through the airport. How many people can pass through the Mediterranean to get to Europe? Like the UK. UK is an island. How do you get to the UK? So most people go by air
Yeah.
with, valid visas.
Yes.
Yes. Those who cross the Atlantic, I can tell you, are just a small fraction.
Oh, but we hear
They
they
just-
600 drown at a time.
Yes. When people drown, even if it's one person, it's still life
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
It's painful.
Yeah.
But I think it's politicized and dramatized.
Okay.
And when you look at the figures itself, that is the number that go through the Mediterranean. I have been to Tripoli.
Okay.
I was part of the team that assisted over 277,000 Africans from Libya back to Africa.
Okay.
The numbers that go through the Sahara, through the Mediterranean, is a small fraction of those who actually get to Europe. Okay? It's just that when they get there, they overstay their visas.
Okay.
Because the truth is they are going to work.
Okay.
But if you go to any European embassy that I need a visa
To go and work.
work, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So you go
A
as
visitor.
a visitor,
A tourist.
and then yes, you see. So that is what mostly happens, and that is why we prefer to call them irregular migrants.
Okay.
Because eventually some of them are able to regularize
Yeah,
their
stay.
stay, either through marriage, through work, through different options that regularizes their stay. Yes.
So on impact, some of the job opportunities, are they entry level or they all need to have a certain experience that is above entry level?
Now, Impact recruit from A to Z, from archaeology to zoology,
Okay.
from unskilled, semi-skilled, skilled, highly qualified, simply because various employers need different types of skills. For instance, we've been taking construction workers to Mauritius.
Okay.
We are in partnership with ATTC, who does the assessment for us, because we know that there are people who may be good at what they do, like a carpenter, a mason, but unfortunately, they may not have the academic certificate to back it up. Do you exclude such a person simply because he doesn't have a certificate? No. So when they go to ATTC, they are assessed. If you are a tiler, you lay floor tiles, you lay wall tiles. If you are a mason, you do the masonry work, and then they make the recommendation to us that Mr. A is good, Mr. B not so good. Because one of the risks is taking people abroad who do not have the requisite skills.
It will tarnish your reputation.
It will tarnish our reputation, and more so Ghana's reputation. I'm sure you've heard of this. I don't know if it's a joke. Nigeria's and son no good.
Yeah, Nigeria cement no good.
Yeah, Nigeria's cement no good. Yes, that
No,
is.
they used to be.
Who went to Nigeria to work as a mason. Because he was desperate for job. Meanwhile, he doesn't have any clue about mason. He puts the plaster on the wall, then it falls off. Second time it falls off, and at the third time he just held it on the wall. So Nigerian cement no good. So it's important that those who go have the requisite skills.
Yeah.
Because there are companies like the fishing or the tuna industry. They need people to clean the fish. You don't need any particular skills. Just be an able-bodied person to do that. So there are different kinds.
But you just need to protect them from abuse.
Yes.
Because if the person is going and he's doing hard work and he's paid peanuts, it's not something that.
And that is why we always show them the contract, the details, and we negotiate with the employer before they go. So you make an informed decision, because if you are working in Ghana, you know how much you are earning, and you know how much you'll be earning. So if you take the social costs, because once you are abroad, you are alone, you are lonely, you are not with your family, all those are costs that you have to factor in, you know, whether to Jakpa or not to Jakpa, because there is a lot of, hardship, loneliness, isolation, you know, homesickness and things, being Jakpa, being abroad alone. So those are things that we cannot overlook.
Someone will say that you are earning pounds and dollars, you are crying. Come back to that place you. After all, the dollars or the pound I translate to Ghana cedis. Yeah, but you are saying that is not. It's not that true for you.
No, it's easier said than done. When you are in Ghana and you hear, you know, the thing is sometimes people don't tell the truth, what they truly go through abroad. So it paints a very rosy picture. And when you get there and it's winter, you have to go through the snow and you are sweating. Your hands are frozen and, you know, your nose is dripping. You realize that it's not as easy as that. Yes, you get a pound, but it's not easy to get a pound. You work for it. Yes.
Now let me find out this. Do you give advice on, say, the cost of living in the destination country, like and rent and food, and so that the person will know that maybe I'll be earning about $500 a month, but I'll be spending about 300 or so on rent alone. Does your advice cover such things?
We do. We have what we call cultural orientation and pre-departure briefing.
Okay.
So before they go, we, in coordination with the Department of Labor, advise them. We give you a profile of the country, the currency, the temperature, everything about the country. We tell you about the cost of living, the main food, and I mean all the cultural, economic, geographic, parameters that you need to know before you go. The do's and don'ts and everything. We provide all that before you go. So before you go, you have an idea. We even brief them even how to board a plane. But there are some of them who have not
traveled before.
Yeah. So we even show them an aircraft, your boarding pass, how to identify your seat, the toilet, how to use it. We go through all that scenario with them as part of the pre-departure briefing and the cultural orientation that is about the sociocultural and economics of the country where you are going.
Allow me to ask a possibly controversial question. Much earlier in your conversation, you said when people see an opportunity, even if it seems fraudulent and there's no alternative back home, what else can they do? So my question to you is this: should everyone just Jakpa, or there's an asterisk?
Well, I will say to Jakpa is an individual decision. Sometimes it's a family decision. But there are factors that you have to take into consideration before you Jakpa, and that is what I'm saying. I wouldn't say Jakpa is bad. Jakpa is not bad. But you have to be careful where you are going, what you are going to do, and migrate safely and regularly. Because at any rate, you cannot stop people from migrating. I've been to borders where countries have put electric fences. They have built walls. People still go through. You can't stop migration. Yes. And it's unfortunate that countries that used to pride themselves as immigrant countries are now some of those countries who don't want to welcome, migrants anymore. Yet the economies were built on the sweat of migrants. Because migration, by and large, is beneficial. And it's not, a bad thing. It's just how we manage it. You see, so migration is really, for me, is good. And that is why one thing I would like to say is that it will be important for African governments to ratify the protocol on free movement of persons so that we can move freely
within the African continent.
Within Africa, because most of the migration of Africans is within Africa, not to Europe. You see?
Really?
No.
I find that hard to believe. I work with students and everybody wants to go to either a EU country in.
Well, you are talking of university students.
But even for others, because that is what you hear. When people migrate within Africa, some of them don't even consider it as migration. I recall once when I was in Uganda, I came home for Christmas and Accra old students, they said those of us from abroad, we should stand up to be welcome. One of my mates said, Charles, is Uganda to abroad? Sit down. But I can assure you that a far greater percentage of migration is within the African Africa, especially within the neighboring countries. Those that go abroad, because that is what is publicized, that is what the media into. If you travel to Cote d'Ivoire or Nigeria, that is no news. But when you go to Europe, now migration has become so political. That is the election winner in many countries. So the numbers are inflated, they dramatize it. But indeed, that is not the case. And when I tell people that most Africans who go abroad eventually come home, are you serious? Because the conditions that made them travel abroad
still
are still there. So why would they come back? And I pose a counter question. So how many old men and old women do we find in Europe holding sticks with gray hair?
Africans. How
many? We all go to Europe every now and then. How many do we find? Where are they? Are they in the old people's home or are they buried? They are back. Because the conditions you find there when you are old, back home, you are with your grandchildren.
Yeah.
They recognize you as part and parcel
Of them.
of the family.
Yeah.
They don't put you in an old
Old
people's.
people's, no.
So there's a big difference. And that is when you know that life is not only materialistic.
Okay.
There is more to life.
Now, let me ask you one thing.
Yes.
Are there destinations that IMPRAC has ruled out for its clients because of the history of those nations, those destinations?
Yes. There are countries that, first and foremost, if it's a warring country,
Yeah.
we do not encourage people to go there
Okay.
because the safety and security of our migrants is prime, it's
Yeah.
premium for us.
Yeah.
So safe and regular migration is one of our cardinal guidelines, guiding principles.
Yeah.
So for a warring country, we won't send people there.
Okay.
For countries that are known to be exploitative, we don't send people there.
Okay.
And as you may be aware, the Ghana government actually put a ban on the recruitment of domestic workers to the Gulf states.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's because of such abuses that the government
That's
is
right, yeah.
such ban. And it's not only in Ghana. There
Yeah.
are other countries like Madagascar
Yeah.
that have similar,
I
ban.
think Ethiopia too
On-
has placed such a ban.
Yes, there are countries. So if they are known to, abuse human
abusive.
rights of migrants,
Yeah.
we wouldn't encourage people.
So do you help people find jobs in UK, US, and the more popular Western countries?
If there are opportunities there, we shall. We don't restrict ourselves to only specific countries.
Yeah.
Okay.
We go for jobs where there is fair and ethical recruitment, where you comply
Yeah.
with the labor and immigration laws
Okay.
of Ghana and also the receiving country.
Okay.
That is what is important
Okay.
for us to ensure that the job is fair and you like it, you make that decision to take it up.
Okay.
What
So-
about maintaining your immigration status? People always talk about going there. We don't talk about, okay, once you get there, how to maintain that status. Because someone may lose their job, things happen. And then they get scared about, am I going to get deported?
Yeah.
Well, when we get to a job, there is a contract
Okay.
which is renewable.
Okay.
Okay. So once you perform,
Yeah.
every employer likes a good
Yeah.
worker.
Yeah.
So it's a contract renewal.
Okay.
And that is part of the conditions that you know
Okay.
before you leave.
Okay.
Because as part of the contract that you sign before you depart, you know the duration of the contract, whether it's renewable or not renewable. So that is also very important. If you know the job is a definite 6 months or 1 year, you know that I'm going for 6 months. So you have that arrangement with your employer here in Ghana. Maybe I'm taking leave of absence for 6
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
So you go and come back. So you don't go and leave. We do not
Encourage.
recommend or encourage people to overstay
Yeah.
their visas
Yeah.
because that affects your future
Yes.
immigration status.
Yes.
It affects your quality of life and your well-being in the country because there are a lot of things you cannot do, especially going to hospital. That kind of thing. It's not. When I studied in Belgium, in many European countries, of course, when you go to hospital, they need your resident card before. If you don't have it, how are you going to get treatment?
Okay.
So maybe you have to go to the social side of things, which may not be what you prefer. Yes. That is if you have the courage at all to, yes. So like, for instance, during the COVID, I was in South Africa. The South Africa government was offering the vaccination and all that. But the migrants and undocumented migrants,
We're afraid.
they were afraid because of their immigration status.
Status.
Even when we opted to assist people to go back to their country, go to their own embassy to be registered and be taken back, they were afraid because they said if the list falls in the wrong hand, they'll be deported. So those are some of the, risks of staying, as an undocumented migrant.
So, based on what you say, I have two follow-up questions. One, does impact, let's say you have someone who's already in the US, whatever, they are getting close to their visa or whatever expiring. Can impact also help people who are already there get new jobs and extend their stay? Do they also do that?
No, that goes beyond our mandate, what we're supposed to do.
Okay.
We are licensed as a private recruitment agency from Ghana.
Home or yeah.
Yes,
the-
once you are there, we didn't take you there. We cannot take responsibility.
Ability,
We take responsibility for those who went through IMPRA.
Yeah.
That one, if you have a problem, we will assist you how to, advise you how to deal with it. And if you went on your own, no, we can't take responsibility for that.
But once you have taken them there and then they want another job and you have it available, you can help them get another one.
That is it. It
Within the
falls
same.
within.
Yeah.
If it falls within their contractual agreement, why not? But if you have not fulfilled your contractual obligation with the original employer, we would not encourage you to leave your job.
Yeah. Now let me find out about remote jobs.
Yes.
Do you also facilitate the remote jobs from for Ghanaians?
If the opportunity comes up, yes. Because these days, as you well know, I sometimes joke that perhaps that is one of the legacies of COVID-19.
Okay.
That is making it become more prominent that there are a lot of jobs that can be done remotely. So if an employer wants someone who can do or perform a certain task remotely, yes, we will encourage.
Especially the tech people in cybersecurity, data analytics, and those things.
Any work, even auditing, accounting. Even now we have telemedicine.
Yeah.
Medicine we can do remotely.
Yeah.
So insofar as a person has the requisite skills and can perform, even teaching.
Yeah.
You have teleteaching. There are a whole lot of work that can be done remotely. Yes, we will encourage it.
So how do you think remote work and even AI would affect immigration from your perspective going forward?
Well, remote work does not affect immigration, so to speak, because immigration essentially deals with
Traveling.
entry and exit.
Yeah.
That is immigration. If you are doing remote work, you have not crossed any border, so the immigration aspect doesn't come in. You are talking of maybe payment of tax because you are earning an income, which is also difficult to measure because you don't even know I'm performing a job. But what I would rather say is, to what extent does AI affect maybe labor or employment? And that one, I think, depending on the sector, of course. But AI cannot do everything. There are certain aspects where you still need human beings to perform. If you need institutional memory for innovation to, change your strategy, you need human beings who have been there, not the AI. So there are certain tasks that you still need human beings to perform certain tasks. Yes.
I think I will make a special appeal to IMPRAC. There are a lot of people who have the skills, and the skills are coveted even in advanced economies, but they want to stay home and work. I want you to take it as a special responsibility to link up remote jobs to such people at home. It saves everybody the headache of these cultural switches and all these things. Is IMPRAC going to pursue remote jobs for Ghanaians who have the skills?
IMPRAC goes out there to engage potential employers.
Okay.
So we take what is a demand and supply.
Yeah, okay.
So what the employer wants and what we have. But what I can say is that I know the government is also taking the necessary steps, through labor migration information system to gather data, because to match jobs, you need the data on what are the job market, the skills gaps in the labor market in the country of destination, and also what are the supply in the country of origin, I would say here in Ghana, so that you match them. But if you don't know the profiles of the skills that you have in country, then it becomes difficult. So what we often, as IMPRAC, and over the years have been advising government, is to sign bilateral labor agreements with destination countries. First and foremost, it protects, or it has the potential to protect your migrant workers who are going to work there. Because it's a framework of cooperation where we agree that this is these are going to be the terms and conditions of Ghanaian workers if they come there. So that is one thing we always recommend, and also to have the skills that we have in abundance, so that we can match them, to countries that need them, so that it becomes demand and supply. In that way, it's regularized, it's streamlined, and that is how it should be. And that is the job we want, or the Africa we want. People being matched with jobs that fits their profile and not square pegs in round holes. Yes.
So, mention that people who go out tend to come back.
Yes.
And in what ways have you seen, or in what ways have you seen that people who leave and come back develop their home countries when they come back? What ways have they positively impacted their home country when they return?
Oh, there are so many ways that you observe that, and I've observed that in so many countries, especially countries like Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, many countries in Ghana, especially in the real estate, in Africa in general. I happen to be one of the experts who defined diaspora for the African Union in 2005 in Trinidad. And I can tell you that there are so many diaspora associations in many countries, and they are really willing to help make a contribution, either through remittances. Nigeria is one of the countries that receive a lot of remittances.
Because the Nigerians are everywhere in the world.
They wear Jakpa, so it's only natural.
You take China, India, Philippines, Nigeria, Mexico. These are countries that have high remittances. These are from their migrant workers working abroad. And besides the financial remittance, there's also the social remittances in terms of innovation, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of skills transfer. So when they come, they transfer skills. Even their work ethics is different, the time management. So there's a lot that they transfer, even forward and backward linkages, bringing investors. And more, every now and then you see, even in the newspapers or on the news, you have the Diaspora Association maybe bringing medical equipment to their hometown, or you have even old students bringing computers or books, to their alma mater or old school. So there are various ways that they contribute. But what we always advise is that people don't necessarily have to come home for good to make a contribution. You can be wherever you are and still make a contribution. Yes, because these days with modern day technology, you don't necessarily have to come home. But if you have to come home, well and good. But there are various ways that you can contribute, even whilst away from home.
But I think your IMPRAC, the link to the IMPRAC website will be captured in the details, of this particular podcast. So anybody who is thinking of Japan, anybody who is thinking of taking advantage of the opportunities of the skills they have and the opportunities outside, they should contact IMPRAC. And I'm sure they will not regret it.
Certainly not, and thank you very much for that.
We are very grateful for the time you have spent with us. We believe that viewers will benefit greatly from this podcast. Thank you very much, Charles.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yes.